Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. Today we are going to read the true story of the case of Crystal McCrory Jones, Justice Denied, A Sister's Fight for Justice the First 2 Years by Jana Guyewski-Lautigar. We all know this amazing woman as our friend Jana. I just want to take a moment to congratulate Jana on her huge accomplishment in writing this book. She is not only an incredible person, she is fierce, courageous. She has been so determined, so ambitious, in the most unfathomable of circumstances. She is absolutely humble when you speak with her, but from my perspective, we would not be here listening to her sister's story if it was not for her. Her sister Crystal was taken way too soon, and as you will see as we read on, the light in Crystal is shining through Jana. So please come along with me on this journey of a sister's love, a family's love, and the pursuit of ultimate justice for our beloved Crystal McCrory. About the author. Jana is an elementary school teacher and a social worker with a deep commitment to advocacy and justice. After the tragic and suspicious death of her sister Crystal McCrory Jones, Jana refused to accept the official ruling and embarked on a relentless pursuit for the truth. Through research, legal inquiries, and public advocacy, she has worked tirelessly to uncover the facts and demand accountability. With a background in education and social work, Jana understands the importance of amplifying the voices of those who have been silenced. Her first-hand experience navigating systematic challenges has fueled her passion for seeking justice, not only for Crystal, but for all families who have been denied answers. Justice Denied is her first book, a powerful, deeply personal account of loss, resilience, and the fight for truth against a system that too often turns a blind eye. Book dedication. For Crystal McCrory Jones, whose light was taken too soon, but whose story will never be forgotten. For Jana Guyewski-Lautigar, whose unwavering love, courage, and determination prove that a sister's fight for justice knows no bounds. For every family who has been denied the truth, forced to battle a system that should protect them, but instead leaves them with more questions than answers, this book is for you. And for those who refuse to stay silent in the face of injustice, may your voices be loud, your persistence unshakable, and your pursuit of truth unstoppable. Quote, "The dead cannot cry out for justice. It is the duty of the living to do so for them." End quote. Lois McMaster Bijou. Introduction. Some stories demand to be told. This is one of them. Crystal McCrory Jones was more than a name in a police report. She was a mother, a sister, a daughter, an aunt, and soon she was going to be a grandmother. She was a woman who laughed loudly, loved fiercely, and never backed down from a challenge. She had survived hardships that would have broken most people, and through it all, she kept going, until the day she didn't. The official story was simple, too simple. A single gunshot, a closed case, a decision made before the dust had even settled. Suicide, they said, but those who knew Crystal best knew better. The cracks in the story appeared almost immediately. The rushed conclusions, the lack of investigation, the fact that her husband, Tony, who had once worn a badge, was the only person the police listened to. They hadn't asked questions. So her family did. This book is not just about Crystal's death. It's about the fight for truth. It's about the people who refused to accept the easy answer, the ones who dug deeper, who pushed back, who wouldn't let her be forgotten. It's about justice, and it begins the way all tragedies do, with a moment that changes everything. Preface, justice denied. Some people shine so brightly that their light lingers, even after they are gone. My sister, Crystal McCrory Jones, was one of those people. She had a personality that filled every room she entered, an energy that made people feel important, seen, and loved. Crystal didn't just exist. She lived fiercely and unapologetically. She loved with everything, even when it wasn't returned. She gave freely, even when she received nothing in return. She believed in people, sometimes to a fault, but that was just who she was. She wasn't built to be cynical. She wasn't built to be weary. She was built for love. Crystal was not just my sister. She was my teacher, my protector, my guide. She taught me how to put on makeup, how to straighten my hair, and how to carry myself with confidence. She was my role model before I even knew what the word meant. She was also the queen of organization, a master of turning chaos into order. She could take a drawer of mismatched socks and make it look like something out of a magazine. Organizing was her therapy. It was the way she created control in a world that often felt unpredictable. She was also a hardworking, dedicated professional. As an insurance agent, Crystal didn't just sell policies. She provided security, peace of mind, and protection. She took her job seriously, ensuring that the people she cared about were covered for the worst-case scenarios life could bring. And when disaster did strike, she was there, making sure her clients, her friends, and her family were taken care of. She understood the importance of preparation, even when the people around her didn't. It was the sense of responsibility that made her such an asset to her employers and such a blessing to those who depended on her. But Crystal's life was more than just work. She was a mother above all else. Her two boys, Corbin and Mason, were her world. Every decision she made, every sacrifice, every move across state lines, it was always for them. When she married a Marine and found herself raising her sons alone while he was deployed in Iraq, she didn't falter. She did what she always did. She made the best of her situation, kept pushing forward, and put her children first. Later, when she remarried, she became a stepmother, embracing the role as if she had been born for it. She gave everything she had to her family. But love is complicated, and Crystal's search for it often led her down painful roads. She married men she hoped would love her as deeply as she loved them. Some did, at least for a time. Others took advantage of her trusting nature, manipulating her with empty promises. And then came Tony Jones. Tony Jones swept her off her feet with his grand gestures and larger-than-life promises. He told her he would be her parachute, that he would catch her if she took a leap of faith with him. But what Crystal didn't know was that she was jumping without a net. The man who had promised to protect her turned out to be the one who would lead her into the darkest chapter of her life. On the outside, things might have seemed okay, but beneath the surface, Crystal was struggling. She was trying to navigate a world she no longer fully recognized, a marriage that was not what she had envisioned, and a future that seemed increasingly uncertain. And then, on February 9th, 2023, everything changed. Crystal was found dead. The details surrounding her death are murky. The official ruling came in too quickly, without enough answers. The investigation felt rushed, incomplete. Too many questions were left hanging in the air, and too many of us who loved her were left grappling with the overwhelming sense that something wasn't right, because it wasn't right. Crystal would never have just left us. She had too much life left to live. She had plans, dreams, goals. She had just finished coursework to advance in her career. She had children who needed her, a family who adored her. She had me. Losing her is unbearable, but what makes it worse is not knowing. The feeling that the truth is just beyond our reach, locked away behind silence, unanswered questions, and a system that failed to fight for her the way she fought for everyone else. This book is about Crystal's life, but it's also about the injustice of her death. It's about the holes in the investigation, the inconsistencies in the story, and the battle our family has been forced to fight just to be heard. It's about the pain of grieving someone when you don't even know how to grieve, when the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. It's about the fight for justice, a fight we will never stop waging because Crystal deserves that. I wish this was just a book about my sister's vibrant, beautiful life. I wish I was writing about the way that she made people laugh, the way she could make a home anywhere she went, the way she filled every moment with love. But this is not just a tribute. It's a call to action. Because Crystal's story is far from over. Until we get the truth, we cannot rest. Until we get justice, we cannot heal. Until we get answers, we will keep fighting. Because Crystal deserved more than what she got. And now it's up to us to make sure her voice is heard. Chapter 1, A Life Interrupted. Crystal McCrory Jones had always been the kind of person who left an impression. She had a sharp wit, an infectious laugh, and a heart that carried the weight of others' burdens as if they were her own. To those who knew her best, she was more than a sister, a daughter, an aunt, a mother. She was a force. On the surface, her life looked ordinary, shaped by the push and pull of family, responsibility, and struggle. But beneath the surface was a woman who had fought for everything she had. Crystal was a survivor, a fighter, someone who had learned to navigate the rough waters of life with determination and resilience. It was the resilience that made the news of her death so unthinkable. The call came in the mid-afternoon, 4:44 p.m. to be exact, just as her little sister Jana Guyewski-Lautigar walked through the door after work. She had barely set her bag down when her phone rang. Seeing her older brother Dane's name on the screen, she picked up immediately. "Hey, what's up?" she asked, kicking off her shoes. Dane's voice was tight, shaking. "Jana, it's Crystal." Jana froze. "What do you mean?" "She's gone." The words didn't make sense. "They're saying it's suicide," Dane continued, his voice raw. A gunshot. Jana's stomach dropped, and a cold wave of nausea washed over her. Suicide? No, not Crystal. I don't understand," she stammered. "I don't either," Dane admitted, "but the police are at the house now. I thought you should know. I don't know what to do." Jana didn't even hesitate. "I'm going." The drive to Crystal's house was a blur. Her hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned white. As she attempted to call her twin brother Josh, her mind raced through every conversation her and Crystal had recently, every moment that might have hinted at something being wrong. But there was nothing. Jana clung to the phone, to her best friend's voice as she raced to the scene. Crystal wasn't suicidal. More than that, she knew guns. She had been trained, understood firearm safety, knew how to handle a weapon. She wouldn't have been careless, and if she had planned to take her own life, she wouldn't have done it like this. Where was her note? Who did she text? Did she call someone? None of it made sense. When Jana pulled up to Crystal's house just right off of the highway, her stomach turned. Yellow crime scene tape stretched across the front yard, and a couple of squad cars sat on the side of the highway. A couple of officers moved around the property, speaking in low voices. Tony's family stood nearby, whispering behind their hands, watching the scene unfold as if it were some television drama. As soon as she stepped out of her car, Tony, Crystal's husband, walked up to her. Without hesitation, he pulled her into a hug, his arms stiff around her. Jana was not a hugger and definitely not known to hug Tony. "It's a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head," he said, his voice flat. Jana stiffened. He said it so casually, so matter-of-factly. like it was a statement of fact, not a devastating truth. Jana pulled away and took a deep breath, her eyes immediately shifting toward the house. Without thinking, she started walking toward the crime scene tape closest to the road. She needed to see, she needed answers. As she got closer, she overheard a whisper between Lewis Carter, the coroner, and Tony. "We still have to send her body off for an autopsy," Carter muttered lowly. "Still?" Jana's blood ran cold. What did that mean? Had there been a discussion about not sending her? Why say it in that manner? Before she could process the thought, Tony turned to her, his expression unreadable. "Where do you want her services at?" he asked. "Bastrop or Oak Grove?" Jana blinked. They hadn't even brought Crystal's body out yet, and he was already talking about funeral arrangements? "Bastrop," Jana replied sternly. The air around her felt suffocating. She could feel the officers and the coroner still ignoring her presence, feel the weight of the whispers happening all around her. A few minutes later, the coroner leaned in again, whispering to Tony, "They'll be bringing her body out soon." Tony turned to Jana. "Jana, you don't need to see her like this." Jana's chest tightened. Her breath became shallow. "Like what, Tony?" she asked, her voice steady despite the storm brewing inside her. Tony didn't answer. Instead, he just walked away. Jana clenched her fist, her whole body trembling. And then, out of nowhere, a woman approached her. Jana didn't recognize her at first. She was Angie, one of Tony's cousins. She reached out, gently taking Jana's hands in hers. "You don't know me," Angie said softly, her eyes filled with sorrow. "But you don't need to do this alone." Jana swallowed hard. Before she could say anything, the doors to the house opened, and they brought Crystal's body out. Jana's knees nearly buckled. Angie's grip tightened. Jana wanted to look away, wanted to turn and run, but she couldn't. This was real. This was happening. And as they wheeled Crystal away, something inside Jana shifted, because this wasn't over. Not even close. Not by a long shot, Dragon Tribe. There's still more to come. That was just chapter 1, and I don't know about you, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire time reading it. I can't wait to get to chapter 2, 3, 4. Now, there are 40 chapters in this book, and so I want to do at least 10 chapters at a time, so we'll make it a series of 5 episodes, but I would love to challenge you to go and buy the ebook. It's $15 at barnesandnoble.com, or you could even buy the paperback version if you'd rather turn the pages. If you're used to that, it's $25. And you can also find it on Amazon if they're sold out for $33 for paperback. Now it's a little bit more if you want hardbound book, and you can get that on Barnes & Noble for $35. And right now I'm not sure how much the hardback is on Amazon, but I will continue to post the links because this book is amazing, guys. I had a chance to peruse it with the ebook. You get it right away. So I went that route, but you best believe I'm going to get this on hardback. Jana does such an amazing job of articulating herself and conveying exactly what she's feeling in that moment. My heart was pounding out of my chest. The rest of the book is absolutely riveting, and it shows the love of a sister. It demonstrates a pursuit of justice like nothing I have ever seen. Jana is relentless, she is determined, she is driven, and she is not going to stop until justice is served for her sister Crystal. And we're not going to stop either, Dragon Tribe. I posted all of the links to purchase the ebook, the paperback or the hardback copy of this book. And let me tell you, if you don't go get your hands on one, they are selling out like crazy. So make sure that you grab yourself a copy. Well, what are you waiting for? Go grab yourself a copy. These things are selling out like hotcakes. Plus, you don't want to miss out because we're going to have a members only live where we have Jana come up on panel and give an exclusive interview about the book. And trust me when I say you're not going to want to miss this because I'm going to be giving away a copy of the ebook. I love you all so very, very much. And remember, if there is even a little smidgen of a red flag that you might be in a toxic or abusive relationship, click the resources that I give below for the Gabby Petito Foundation and also for the Center for Domestic Violence. And if you're not sure, it never hurts to ask. But if you stay, it could kill you. There is a way out. Make a plan. Get out. I love you all. Have a great day.